We've talked about so far this chapter. What did I call these kinds of equations the other day? Quadratic equation. We talked about 3 different ways to solve them. The first way was factoring with the 2 sets of parentheses like that. It usually looks something like that. And then x is either -4 or +1 to make that equal 0. The second way was when it was just an x squared without all this extra stuff. You can just square root both sides, but what happens?
Positive or negative?
Plus or minus. And yesterday we did completing the square.
So what's the difference between completing the square and the top one?
Okay, the top one, factoring only works when the numbers are
Able to
just right.
Oh.
Okay, you can only factor. So if I, for example, if I change this to a 5, then it's no longer going to factor. So this is just when the numbers are set up just right. And usually, like on the ACT or something, if they ask you to factor, or if they ask you to solve it, it'll probably be factorable. But if it doesn't factor, you have to use like quadratic formula, or sorry, completing the square, or today's thing is quadratic formula. Okay, so do you guys know what these numbers on the front of the term are called? No. I probably mentioned it like coefficients, yeah. Coefficients.
Pro? I think coalition.
Coalition.
Wait, no, there's something called coalition.
Like the thing from Call of Duty?
Bro, it's not.
Okay, so if I write a quadratic formula in the general form here, ax squared plus b, so a, b, and c would be like the coefficients. So like if it was like 3x squared minus 7x plus 1, okay, coefficient for the first term is 3, coefficient for second term is -7, coefficient is 1, yeah.
Why didn't you put 1c?
Okay, c is replaced by the constant 1.
Oh,
B is replaced by -7, A is replaced by 3. So anyway, it turns out if you do the completing the square on this, just like with the A, B, and C, you get a formula that works every time. And this is what it comes out to be. X is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so this is called the quadratic formula because it can be used to solve any quadratic equation. Factoring only works in special circumstances, which a lot of times it'll work, but this works on everything. It works on factoring problems, and it also works on really messy problems that don't have nice answers. But they got it from completing the square on this kind of a problem. We're kind of, yeah, jumping ahead to this. So usually it's either factoring or this. Completing the square, you could do it, but it's not as efficient as the formula. So usually it's either does it factor, and if it doesn't, let's just use this. That's basically the way it goes. Now sometimes though, I mean, if the problem already looks like this, just square root it, you know. So that's kind of like completing the square, but usually it's factoring or that. Okay. It's really not that, I mean, it's kind of hard to remember. By the time you're juniors, they kind of expect you to have that memorized. There's kind of a song that goes with it.
Oh, we should listen to it.
X is equal to -b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So you can use that.
That's fire, bro.
You guys recognize the tune?
Those spitting bars.
Pop goes the weasel.
Yeah.
I thought it was balling.
Okay. Anyways,
Put the B.
Are you guys on 505 already?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not really solving, we're not solving 1 through 6, we're just writing down the A, B, and C coefficients. We'll start practicing on number 7, on actually doing it. Okay, so on number 1, this is going to go really fast because we're not really doing much on it. What is the A, B, and C values on number 1?
X, or no, 1, 6, and 5.
1, 6, and 5.
I like this. All of our problems should be.
Okay, that would be the A, B, and C.
Don't say that.
Yeah, well, once we get down to number 7, we're actually going to start using those numbers. So, number 3. Now, there's a little bit of a trick on number 3. What's wrong with number 3?
It's not very nice.
It's shorter.
C doesn't exist.
Negative.
Okay, C does exist, but it's not. Okay, this ABC thing only works when you
0.
have nothing on the right side.
That's no fun.
So, you know how we normally set it up like this to do factoring, right?
Yeah.
So we need to move everything over to one side, so I'm going to add the 6 over. So really it's just x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. So if you move it to the other side, it goes from negative to positive,
Hold up.
Wait,
or vice versa.
will you go up for a sec?
No, keep it right there. No. Go
I
right
just
down.
want to write.
No, buddy, go back down, buddy.
Oh, the quadratic formula?
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down on my
Well,
paper.
you can write it on your paper, I'll put it up here too.
Bro, I did it.
So,
What color is that?
That is maroon.
Brown.
Maroon.
I think it's darker
That's so racist.
wait, what you
Lennox. Lennox. I actually don't see color, so I don't know.
The disrespect.
Wait, so like number 5, would you put negative?
I put the
6
B
for
over the.
Shut the freak up.
Okay, so what is the A, B, and C on this one? What's A?
1.
1. There's no number in front, that's like an invisible 1. Okay, number 5. This one's got another trick. Well, what's the A value on number 5? 1. What's the B value on number 5?
0.
Why is it 0?
Because there is none.
Okay, the B value goes with the X term, right?
Yeah.
So since there is no X term, the B value is 0.
So would that just be the square
I
minus
hope
the
it's
square
better
thing?
for lunch.
No, 6 isn't the square.
6 isn't a square. You could, if you're solving it, you could add 6 to the right and then do the square root trick though.
Oh yeah.
What's the C value on number 5?
Negative 6.
Okay, any questions on how we got that on number 5? That's kind of important. So the A value should always be the number in front of the square term. The B value should be the number in front of the just power of 1 term, like the X term or the W term or whatever. And then the C value should be the constant with no variable.
How the heck are we supposed to do number 6?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta move everything to the left first. And then it's kind of like number 5 after that.
There's only 2 numbers though.
Gotta move everything to the left first. And then it looks a lot like number 5.
Is algebra 2? Is this more as we go further? Is it just more letters than numbers at this point?
You didn't grab the calculators?
No, I didn't. Kind of forgot about it. Number 7, x squared. Oh, you had a calculator.
You have the mini
I may or may not have accidentally broke it.
It's
If I
literally
pressed the
boss.
button too hard.
Accidentally
Bro
broke
probably got mad at it and then threw
it.
it.
All right. So we're actually gonna solve it this time. This first little section, most of these answers will come out pretty nice, but the next section not so nice. If they come out nice, that means they were factorable, but okay. So let's start with what's our A, B, and C? 1, 6, and 8. Alright, now we're gonna plug it in to the quadratic formula. So starting with negative b, so negative 6 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 6 squared, minus 4 times A times C all over 2 times A. And as soon as we simplify that, that's the answers. How many answers is this going to give us?
3.
1.
4.
Okay, well, let's find out. Negative 6 plus or minus the square root of. So this is, what's 6 squared? 36. 4 times 8.
Wait, it's negative 4.
Okay, 4 times 8 is 32. Times 1 is 32. So 36 minus 32 is 4. And the square root of 4 is
2.
So it's negative 6 plus or minus 2 over 2. How many answers is it going to give us?
1.
2. Remember,
2.
pretty much every problem we've done this chapter has had 2 answers. You guys notice that?
Do our calculators.
Quadratic equations should have 2 answers, typically.
This is hard. You look at this.
Okay, negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4 divided by 2,
Negative 2.
negative 2. Or negative 6 minus 2,
8.
negative 8 divided by 2.
Negative 4.
And you could check those answers. You could plug back in the
wait,
original
2 answers thing.
equation.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, can we do this with our calculator?
No, it has 2
Sure.
answers.
I thought the whole
Okay.
point of this was supposed to get 3.
Not exactly. Your calculator can't do plus and minus at the same time.
Wait, so could you do
It could do plus, and then you could go back and change it to a minus.
That's actually kind of smart.
But, is everybody listening? I want you to show at least this on your paper
Okay.
before you plug it in your calculator.
My deep is-
Okay, yep.
What did you change?
What did I change?
Plus or minus? Did you do negative 6 or
Plus or minus the square
You
root.
got negative 4.
So even one of our answers. Oh, it is.
Yeah. Well, bro, he literally just said he can do it, but you have to do one at a
No,
time.
I know.
I'm not sure what you're asking. How did I get
Then I
this?
can go back.
Okay, negative 6 plus 2 divided by 2
Delete that.
gave us that, and negative 6 minus 2 divided by 2 gave us that.
Makes me happy.
So I did negative 6 plus 2 divided by 2, and that was negative 2. And I did negative 6 minus 2 divided by 2. That's negative 4. Plus or minus means 2 different things,
If
right?
the Taliban ever catches me, if they want to get something out of me, they literally just have to make me do math, and I'll give it up.
So that's random thing.
You haven't seen my files.
Alright. So starting with what's my A, B, and C?
1, 8, and 15.
Okay. So negative B is what we're starting with, right? So negative 8 plus or minus the square root of B squared, so 8 squared, minus 4 times A times C over 2 times A.
So, will pretty much the A always be 1?
No.
Not always. If you look down the page there, once you get to 16 and 17, there's not 1. Okay, so I'm just gonna, most of the work that you're doing is inside the square root. That's where most of the stuff happens. So we got 64 minus 60, so it's another
How'd you do that fast?
4 again.
He's a giga chat.
Okay, so we got
No way.
negative 8 plus or minus 2 over 2.
Negative 3.
Stupid.
Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3.
Yeah.
Negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10 divided by 2.
Negative 5.
Well, in the time it took me to get it on the calculator, you were done.
Well, the faster, or the more you do this, the faster you get used to the pattern.
Negative 3 or negative 5.
A squared minus 9. Okay, this one would be very quick if you know how to factor it, but we need to practice our quadratic formula here. Okay, so what's my a value?
Wait, what was it? 1.
1. What's my b value?
None.
0.
0. There's no a term up here, so there's no b value. What's my c value? Negative 9. So when it says negative b, I got negative 0, so that's just 0. Plus or minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a.
Okay.
Wait, isn't that just all?
Okay, I'm just plugging in all the a, b's, and c's over here.
Wait, but you can't.
Okay, 0 squared is just 0, so I have minus 4 times 1 times minus 9. It'd be positive 36. And what's the square root of 36? 6.
If you got a negative inside the parentheses, what would you do?
Just get good, bro.
You can't square root.
It would be imaginary, and it should not happen on this assignment. That's like that'd be like an algebra 2 thing.
When things are to the 0th power, that means they're 1. There's 1, right?
Yes, anything to 0 is 1. So what's positive 6 divided by 2? And what's negative 6 divided by 2? So it's just plus or minus 3 on this one.
Honestly, if they're all like that,
Well, couldn't you done like the square minus the square thing?
Yeah, all these in the first section are actually factorable, but we're still going to use that. Practice.
He doesn't like you, but
Okay, here's one with a different a value. What's the a value on this one? What's the b value?
3. 1.
Negative 1. Right there. What's the c value? Alright, because the b value is negative on this one, it will probably make a lot of people screw up. So, let me rewrite it really quick right here so I can point at it.
Bro, anyway.
Okay, so what's going to happen when I put b value in? Negative b value, what would that be?
1.
Right, it's negative negative 1, which is positive 1. Plus or minus. Okay, here's where a lot of people get problems wrong. So is everybody listening? Like, the juniors screw up on this a lot. If I did this, it would be wrong.
you have to add parentheses.
Okay, or what's negative 1 squared is just going to be positive 1 squared, basically. So it's just going to be 1. So if you want to just do that in your head, I mean, I'll save you some.
That's cool.
Anyway, 4 times a, 2, times c over 2 times a. So yeah, you could put parentheses around it if you wanted to, but you know, if you do a little bit in your head, it could save you some trouble.
That's where things go wrong.
Always happy.
I mean, things can be wrong if you. There's a lot of ways things can go wrong. Anyway, so what we got here is a positive 1 minus 4 times 2 times minus 3. 4 times 2 times 3 is 24. The minus and the negative kind of make it a positive. So this is going to be square root of 25. So what's 1 plus 5?
2. 4.
6
6.
divided by 4.
6 over 4, which is 3 halves.
3 halves. Okay, 1 minus 5,
4.
negative 4, divided by 4.
Negative 1.
we're doing okay on time.
I don't think so. I think we need to like bump it to like.
Is this harder or easier than yesterday or tied?
Definitely.
Harder.
Bro.
Only by a little bit.
It's hard.
I don't think it's harder because formula like takes longer.
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
Well,
She said,
the problems that we did yesterday were kind of the easier problems, so
what?
this is more efficient than completing a square though. Okay, 15. Shh.
0.6 without also.
What's my A value?
1.
Uno.
What's my B value?
6.
What's my C value?
-9.
Eh.
Oh wow. Oh wait, you gotta, it's 9. You gotta add.
Okay, 9, negative 9 is on the wrong side, so it's actually a positive 9 on the left. So it's positive 9.
Wait, so it's after the equal? I'm confused now. Is it because it's after the equal that it's
No,
closing?
you have to add it to fix it.
You're supposed to have a 0 over there, so you add the 9, so it's y squared minus 6y plus 9.
Gotcha.
Alright, so what's the negative b value going to be?
Positive.
Positive 6.
Yeah, I'm so smart.
Plus or minus the square root of, what's b squared going to be?
Negative 30. Oh no, 36.
36.
I'm so
It's
smart.
not negative.
Wow.
If you plug in negative 6 squared, that'll be wrong. Minus 4 times a times c.
Bro, this sucks.
Over 2 times a.
Bro, it's not that bad. Dude, there's so much to do.
Okay, what's 4 times 9 right there?
36.
36 minus 36 is 0. What's the square root of 0? 0.
Like low key, like foil's looking real nice.
Okay,
W man.
so we got 6 plus or minus 0, which would be 6, right? So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this is one of those rare cases where you get one answer.
That's cool.
Whoa.
So if the square root comes out as 0, you get one solution.
But yeah, no, foil would be real nice.
Dude, I love foil. I use foil, and I'm like, oh, can we go back to foil, please?
Can we go back to like 2 plus 2? Like, bro.
We go back to
Can
kindergarten.
we add numbers back into math?
2 is 20. Hey, back
Stop
then,
adding
Can we just like get rid of all the letters? How about that?
I didn't learn
Yeah.
that since I was in second grade.
Like
Let's
8
get
plus
rid
8
of
is
all
not equal.
variables and pretend like we actually know what they are
Okay,
as numbers.
What?
so these are supposed to be a little bit
Equal what you just said.
messier. Actually, ironically, when you do a messy answer, it actually takes you a shorter amount of time to get there.
Messi,
Yeah.
soccer player.
Well, 19 and 20 are really the messier ones. But okay, so what's my A value? B value? C value?
4.
So what's negative B going to be?
81.
Negative B,
9.
positive 9.
I meant.
Plus or minus the square root of B squared. What's B squared?
81.
Positive 81. Minus 4 times A times C over 2 times A. Alright, 4 times 2 times 4 is 32. 81 minus 32, I believe, is 49. So this one actually comes out kind of nice. 9 plus or minus the square root of 49 over 4. So that's 7. So 9 plus or minus 7 over 4. It's going to be fractions, but it's not that messy. 9 plus 7,
16.
16 divided by 4.
4.
9 minus 7, 2 divided by 4.
1/2.
pretty much, that was the same as the top section,
It
yeah.
was most
Any
definitely that bad.
negative, like it says equal, any negative, it's gonna be positive.
If the b is negative, when you square it, it'll be positive.
No, this
This is all evil.
If c is negative, you gotta put a negative in there.
With you, Bill.
but if it's like equals negative in the problem, will it be positive in the right?
Oh yeah, because when you move it to the other side, you have to add it to move it to the other side. It'll be positive, yeah.
Bro.
Let me figure that I need.
Okay, the last one. I'll come around and check your number 8 here in a
Wait.
couple minutes after we do number 19.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I'm tripping, cause like, oh gosh, where did I go wrong?
Okay,
Where did I go wrong?
so 19, and if we kept going, these are the messiest of problems. They cannot factor. It's impossible to factor these.
Why the heck are we doing it?
And that's why quadratic formula is useful, because when the problems don't actually work well. And if you choose like random numbers to plug in, like for your A, B, and C, it's almost definitely not going to factor. So quadratic formula is useful in real life situations when numbers get messy. All right, anyways, what's my A value?
2.
What's my B value?
-5.
What's my C value?
1.
Why is it not -1?
Because
Because it had to move over.
It's on the wrong side, so it's positive 1 on the right. Okay, so negative b is going to be positive 5, plus or minus square root of b squared 25 minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a. Alright, what makes this one messy is this is basically 25 minus 8, which is 17.
Nice.
Yikes. That number is just. Dude, I feel like all.
Okay,
of
does 17 have a nice square root?
No.
No. So can I do anything else to simplify this? No. If you want to graph it or something, you could change it to a decimal and figure out what it was. It'd be a couple really messy decimal answers. But we're not doing that, so that's as simple as it gets. So actually, the messier problems take shorter time.
Yay.
But I believe only 20 is like that. Only 19 and 20 are like that. If we'd kept going, we'd get some more, but we're stopping at 20, so.
Wait,
So 20 should be pretty similar to that, yeah.
is
So wait,